in some ways, I understand what Paul's saying, but I think you've got to use that second half as a reference point. I think you've got to use that second half as this is what we want to look like now. I think there was much more unity. I think they were more connected as a team from back to front. The spaces wasn't as big as they were in the first half. They weren't as easy to play through. But I think these players, if anyone had any doubt, will these players run, hustle, and fight for Ollie? Yes, they will. They showed that in the second half. And like I said, they've got to use that second half as this is what we're made of. This is what we're about. Yes, we can improve tactically here and there, but the nuts and bolts of it is that, listen, they can put a shift in. People were questioning after the game against Leicester, are these players willing to work? Are they willing to run through brick walls for Ollie? Well, today, I think they showed that. There was a togetherness, there was an intensity that I really liked. And I think that as soon as the second half started, I noticed Bruno dropped off a little bit. He brought himself and connected himself to the two in midfield, so they weren't isolated by himself, and the wingers weren't as far forward as they were probably in the first half. And those little nuances, those little details do change things. And I just think that at the end of the day, you go back to basics. They said that, go back to basics and just get the fundamentals right. First half, they came out, they weren't awake, they were asleep. Second half, it seemed like, yeah, they'd had a talk, but now they've got to bring that. There's no better game than that, like that, the way it finished there, to roll into a game against Liverpool at the weekend, where, as Scholesy said, they will have to be better, but that's a great starting point in that second half to continue from that.
Did it help you bad back?
It almost hurt my bad back because when the goal went in, I've almost rolled off the sofa. But it was. But no, listen, it's a like Scholesy said, you do get carried away. We're football fans. I'm the same. You get carried away. You're sitting here texting your mates, Man United are back, etc. No, they've got a long way to go. Let's be realistic about it. But we needed a reaction. That's what we asked for before the game, and we got that in the second half and roll on the weekend now.
OK. Thanks, mate. We'll check in with you in a bit. Look, Peter, where do you sit on this? Are you more in the realist camp, like Paul, saying they got the win, but it wasn't great, or more of the romantic, where you're Rio looking at the positives as our impartial observer?
Yeah, no, I think I have to side with Paul. I think I do worry for the weekend for when Liverpool come to town, because they're going to be much better than Atalanta going forward. Defensively, obviously, a lot more sound. I did think there was a big disjoint. I think I agree with Rio in one point. I think when Bruno Fernandes attached himself to the rest of the midfield with McTominay and Fred, I think that was a much better plan. I think he was one of the four just left to his own devices, really, in the first half, and that just cannot work. I think he needs to be a lot closer to the midfield because, he creates, and the way they got back into the game was an unbelievable pass into Rashford, and that was always going to be the way they were going to score, but I much prefer him in that deeper role connected to that midfield.
You're loving it, Harry, listening to that noise. What a fantastic revival. You like doing it the hard way here, don't you?
Well, we do, definitely in the Champions League, yeah. The first half, we conceded two bad goals, two big moments in the game. Obviously, they played a quick free kick for the first quarters out, and then a set play, what we shouldn't be conceding. We actually created a lot of chances in the first half, so we knew coming in at half-time that the next goal would be crucial. We got the goal, what we needed, what we deserved. And I think in the end we deserved the victory. We created numerous amount of chances. Yes, we made it difficult, but it's a great victory in the end.
That Ronaldo header, I mean, we can't say enough about this guy.
Yeah, well, I had eyes on it all the way. I was right behind him. His leap, his timing, no, it was a perfect header. I was right behind it. I seen it go right in the corner, and I knew his timings. It's always there. You see it day in, day out at training, and the goals that he's scored throughout his career. So, no, he's come up with a massive goal for us again in the Champions League.
You're being a bit modest here as well. I mean, Cavani, Ronaldo out there, and of course you buried one yourself. Decent finish for a big man.
Yeah, nice. It's normally with my head. I've had a lot of chances with my head this year, and I haven't managed to put one away yet. So, no, it's my first goal of the season for the club, and my first goal in the Champions League. So it's a proud moment for myself and my family who's up there watching. Mark, and we conceded 2 goals, found ourselves 2-0 down, but I think Mark's had 2 1v1s in the first half, so I knew when he got that third one, there's no mistake, and it was a great finish. I mean,
it's a bit churlish in the circumstances to mention you've only had 1 clean sheet this season. I mean, that's why you have to make these comebacks, I suppose.
Yeah, of course, that's not good enough. That's not good enough for this club. We know we're working hard. We're working hard on the formula to be a lot more solid and a lot more... but like I say, it's about winning football matches. I think the last 3 or 4 games we've conceded far too many set plays. I think that's 4 in the last 4 games now. So that's something that we need to sharpen up on, because at the start of the season we was really good defending those. So yeah, it's fine margins, but we've got to do better. We know that that's not good enough for our club.
Did we see a team that was playing for each other and the manager as well?
Yeah, of course. Obviously, we were on a bad run the last 3 games. So at half-time, when you're 2-0 down at Old Trafford in a big game in the Champions League, we've shown great togetherness. Great togetherness in the dressing room at half-time. We got cheered and clapped off at half-time from these fans. So they made a big difference as well. They gave us that energy. They gave us that belief. And we got the result that they deserve.
Thanks, Harry.
Cheers. Thank you.
Yeah, nice finish from that man. We'll take a look at his goal before too long. You still don't feel that was a win worth celebrating?
Worth celebrating. Well, you celebrate every win, don't you?
1 in 5 to win in that manner with that atmosphere and that reaction. I mean, look at, Cristiano.
Rubbing his hands together.
He would have seen the odd moment of brilliance, though, wouldn't he? I mean, how does this man make it look so easy, Peter?
Oh, honestly, I mean, what a header this was. Fantastic ball from Luke Shaw, but the timing, the leap, the movement to get back on side here, everything about this is, consider it's the winner again in the Champions League. This man is just unbelievable. It's just such a good header.
How hard is that, timing-wise?
He's a few cracks, you want that?
Yeah, well, I wouldn't have to jump.
He's a great header of the ball, isn't he? He's always been a brilliant header of the ball, and you have to give quality to the cross as well. The pace is on it. You don't have to really put that. He's just guiding it back where it came from, and we've seen him do that many times.
Once again, though, it does come back to United, doesn't it? Relying on those moments of brilliance. I mean, particularly from him so far this season.
Well, that's it. I have to agree with Paul as well. I mean, in isolation, this game it was a great game of football. I'm not a United fan, let's be honest, right? Paul's sitting here squirming. For me, it was a great game of football. I saw some unbelievable goals. It was open. It could have gone either way. But looking at it from Paul's point of view, at the weekend, there are difficulties. I think Liverpool do tear them apart if they play like that. I think they do have to change it. But this game in isolation, there were lots of plus points, lots of goals, and it was exciting.
From a neutral's point of view, it was brilliant. Great game. Like I say, excitement, goals everywhere, but I'm just trying to be more realistic of what's to come.
You still expect more from Manchester United?
Of course I do, yeah. They can't keep on conceding chances like that, relying on the goalkeeper again. I think at 2-2 he made 2 great saves again. You can't constantly get away with that against better teams. And remember, they're not playing a world-class team here. They're playing a decent team, don't get me wrong, Atalanta, with 5 players out. A centre-half had to go off injured. 3 young centre-halves. So you can't get too carried away, as I think they might have done by this.
It's not been special for Manchester United in that first half. Peter and Paul are with us this evening. 1 clean sheet in 20 games, and with the defending we've seen in that first 45, it's obvious why, isn't it?
Yeah, as Ollie said before the game, it was going to be a 4-2-4, and it's definitely been that, because we haven't seen the 4 forward lads working hard. Really good bit of movement here, say, from the centre forward. Victor Lindelof could have possibly stepped up, but chose to go in with him. And then it's from the right hand side, good run from Zappacosta, good pass, and then we see Maguire and Shaw. They don't block that. The one across the front, which is the most dangerous. We can see why they're doing it. They're thinking the danger might be to be cut back, but the danger isn't there. The danger is right in front of them. A simple 20-yard pass to a lad 3 yards out from goal. They need to stop that. They need to sprint back in there, stop that, and forget about the cutback.
They employ a set-piece coach at Manchester United.
Yeah, and you can see it. I think lots of people at home might think, why is Luke Shaw marking their best header of the ball? But he's obviously the blocker. Maguire and McTominay, as you can see here, are in the areas, and they've got to go and head the ball out whilst Fred and Shaw are blocking. But what it is this little shove here on McTominay. You can see that, and I think if he's cuter, if that's Atletico Madrid, one of them, I think he goes down and he buys the foul there. But he doesn't give it, and Maguire's slow to react.
And you can see them actually, they were talking about it on the bench. Look, there you go, Ollie saying he pushed him, very frustrating. But that's not the reason why United are 2-0 down, really. The approach has been all wrong. And while you can question the coaching for the goals they've conceded, you have to question the players when they create chances like this and don't take them.
Yeah, that's been the strange thing. They've not really been the better team, but they've had some great chances in the game. Well, definitely the best chance is Marcus. Look, he could be a little bit rusty. We know that. He takes a little bit of time. Defender gets... But that defender's winding me up. He's pulled his hamstring 3 times. And still on.
He scored a goal and had a life-saving tackle.
Yeah, but Fred, a really good bit of play from Fred. It's just that last little bit of quality that's lacking. This is a great chance. Marcus is one that he likes to see the net bulge. He likes to put power on it. I think that's more of a delicate... Either a little dink over him, or as Crouchy said before, it's maybe a little pass into the far corner.
Paul, this Atalanta team have got 5 first-team regulars out injured. How bad has that first half been from a United perspective?
Yeah, I think it's the formation that's been bad. As I said before, Ole said 4-2-4. And if I don't care who them 2 players are in the midfield, when you're playing against a European team, a good European team, you're going to get absolutely destroyed. Neither wide player is running back. Bruno Fernandes is making the odd effort to get in and help them, but they will get destroyed. If Manchester United were playing a good team here, a really good team, they could be looking at 4 or 5. But do you know what? I think